Well, it certainly is time for us to get into moments in current affairs. You know what we do, man. It's 21 minutes now after 9 a.m. Well, quite a lot happening and quite a lot that we want to get through. You'll be interested to know, though, that, in fact, let's go to news that happened. Was it last week or the week before? We all wanted to know why Len Kluter was naked in the video shortly before he was shot in the head by a police officer at Mulder's Drift Lodge, right? I mean, everybody else was curious. Well, Len's wife, Chantel, recently spoke out about the incident and clarified what transpired before the shooting that happened at Misty Hills Lodge. In a recent interview with Jacaranda FM, Chantel said she was already asleep when the police arrived on the scene, adding that the commotion woke her up. She went on to say that the police tried to yank her out of bed, which angered her husband, who, according to her, always prioritized her feelings safe, when she went to bed at night. Now, according to Chantel, Len was not usually an aggressive person and that he is a family man who has 7 children. It is believed the incident played out over the span of several hours. She said there were 9 or 10 police officers. Chantel said a tired Len told the police to arrest him multiple times during the altercation so that the situation could come to an end. But according to her, police officers kept on taunting him with no intention of diffusing the situation. Len asked the police to leave the room as he was tired and wanted to change into pajamas and go to sleep. It was at this stage that Len, in an attempt to show that he was tired and done with the incident, changed into his pajamas as he wanted to get into bed, and it was clear they had no intention of arresting him. Chantel also explained why their friends were with them in the same room at the Mulder's Drift Lodge. We had booked 2 rooms, but only got a key to the room and was denied access to the other booked room. And that is how we all ended up in the same room, Chantel said. She said the situation was calm. She said her friends were having coffee inside while the men chatted outside. Is that right, Chantel? Anyway, whatever you're into, man. Julius Malema tweeted on Tuesday that he will explain the changes unfolding in the political arena after a DA takeover in Johannesburg, Ekurhuleni, and Tshwane. He said, let's provide clarity on Thursday at Winnie Mandela Sekhukhune Sports Ground in Tembisa at 12 p.m. because people don't know what's happening. They are all in shock, including those who won. Politics 101, don't be late. The EFF, Action SA, and other political or oppositional parties voted with the official opposition for the DA's mayoral candidates in Johannesburg, Ekurhuleni, and Tshwane. Dr. Mpho Malatsi won the mayor chain in Johannesburg after securing 144 votes to 121 for the ANC's candidate, Mpho Mwerane. Veteran councillor Tanya Campbell was elected executive mayor of Ekurhuleni with 116 votes to the 105 of former mayor Mzwandile Masina. And Randall Williams was elected unopposed in Tshwane. Coalition talks with Action SA appeared to have broken down days before the council meetings after its leader, Herman Mashaba, told the Sunday Times he felt double-crossed by the Democratic Alliance. Mashaba was of the impression the DA may lend him their vote so he could secure mayoralty in Johannesburg in exchange for his support in Tshwane. The DA responded saying they had been clear about not wanting to be involved in unstable minority coalitions, especially if it means depending on the EFF to vote to govern. The DA leader, John Steenhuisen, said on Tuesday the DA did not participate or anticipate victory in Johannesburg and Ekurhuleni as it had not negotiated with the EFF for support. The developments of the votes, mayor and speaker in Johannesburg and Ekurhuleni came as a surprise to everyone, including us, the DA. We didn't ask for the help from the EFF to lead these governments, and we didn't expect to leave these meetings with 2 new mayors. Steenhuisen said Palatsi and Campbell were high-caliber leaders who were serious about service delivery. Interesting stuff. And I guess as time goes, that's how we are actually going to get to find out if these people are really as strong and as serious about service delivery as the leader of the Democratic Alliance claims they are. Former Newcastle Mayor Ntuthuko Nkululeko Mahlaba has been slapped with a 20,000 rand fine or 2 years in jail. The Newcastle Regional Court found him guilty of inciting assault. This is in connection with an incident last year in Avery Hill. Mahlaba instructed unknown people to assault workers who continued to dig trenches for fiber cables when he had instructed them to stop. The workers' tools were taken and cables were damaged. According to the National Prosecution Authority, 6 witnesses placed Mahlaba at the scene. Justice has been served. And the people of Johannesburg did not give the DA a clear majority. Therefore, the party cannot be expected to exclusively implement its manifesto without consultation with other parties. This is the warning from the newly elected Mayor Mpho Phalatse, who on her first day in office on Tuesday said she was mindful that running a minority government would demand sensitive consultations on decisions. This is a similar approach used by former Johannesburg Mayor Herman Mashaba, which eventually put him at the crosshairs when his party went with his then party bosses. This is not about the DA anymore, Phalatse said in an interview with the Sowetan. The DA didn't get a majority. We're going to have to look at the different manifestos and look at commonality and where we differ, debate where we need to do extensively with each other. I'm also cautious because we went to the council and we did not have the numbers. We're a minority government and those are generally not stable, she said. Interesting. Could this be a strategy from the EFF to later on take on the same people that they voted with, maybe turning around and voting with the ANC on certain things like votes of no confidence and things of that nature? I know it's early, but it's politics or politricks. We want to know which. In Johannesburg, Jacob Zuma's legal team insists that the former president is terminally ill, arguing that his medical parole challenge is based on smoke and mirrors. The court in Pretoria heard an urgent application on Tuesday by the Helen Suzman Foundation, AfriForum, and the Democratic Alliance to have the decision to grant Zuma's medical parole set aside. Zuma was released in September, just months after the Constitutional Court sentenced him to 15 months imprisonment for contempt of court, and the organizations that have brought the urgent application against former President Jacob Zuma, his medical parole, have accused the then Correctional Services boss, Arthur Fraser, of abusing the system and acting unlawfully. The applicants argue that Fraser failed to substantiate his reasons for granting Zuma parole, particularly with no information proving that he was terminally ill or incapacitated. However, Zuma's lawyer, Advocate Dalimpofu, has described the court challenge as frivolous and based on untruths, adding that Zuma did, in fact, provide the Medical Parole Board with his parole report. Dr. Mphatso knows exactly about Section 79.1 because he's a member of the board. So he would not say that I wish to recommend that the applicant be released on medical parole if conditions were not being met. Judgment in the matter has been reserved. 29 after 9. Cape Town Proteas fast bowler Ulungi Ngidi has tested positive for COVID-19 and has been ruled out of the upcoming ODI series against the Netherlands. According to Cricket SA, Ngidi is well and in good spirits, with the Proteas medical team monitoring his physical progress and mental well-being. Ngidi's Titans teammate Junior Dala has been called up to replace him. The Proteas have suffered a further blow to their fast bowling stocks, like Lizard Williams, also withdrawing from the series due to intercostal muscle strain. Williams is undergoing treatment and will continue to be assessed with no replacement required. Ngidi's withdrawal, though, due to COVID-19 is the latest blow in tumultuous year for the 25-year-old. The hulking speedster has not played for the Proteas in a competitive match since the second T20 against England back in July. He withdrew from the 100 competition in England after signing for the Welsh Fire 2 and then missed the Sri Lanka series due to personal reasons and instead headed off to the Indian Premier League where he worked on his fitness with former Protea trainer Greg King at the Chennai Super Kings ahead of the T20 World Cup in the United Arab Emirates. Ngidi seemed in good shape at the UAE and played in a couple of warm-up matches, but remained on the bench throughout the T20 World Cup as the Proteas only utilized Kagiso Rabada, Andrich Notje, and all-rounder Dwayne Pretorius as their seam bowling contingent. And finally, in this beautiful continent of Africa, further afield, Kenyan President Uhuru Kenyatta and South African President Cyril Ramaphosa have called for increased cooperation to bring peace to conflict-ridden regions in Africa. This was the start of Kenyatta's 2-day state visit to South Africa. In a meeting in Pretoria on Tuesday, the two leaders discussed the grave situation in Ethiopia and agreed that there is an urgent need for all parties to commit to an immediate, indefinite, and negotiated ceasefire. They also condemned recent bomb attacks in Uganda, capital of Kampala, which claimed the lives of at least 3 civilians in what police described as a coordinated attack by extremists opposed to the government. Peace, guys, peace. That's what we really need. That is what we really need. Ompintisa uti rev ontisa uhleli nawe msasazi wami. Hey, uThembelani Kyete naye. Good morning, guys. Welcome and have a fantastic day. We're going to do this together until 12 o'clock. Piwa coming in at 12. That is for the invasion. And of course, the Seas with Siogwana coming in between 3 and 6 for the KNR drive.
We are extraterrestrial. We are